Hello, my name is Estaban Valdivia. I'm archaeomusicology. I study the most ancient instrument of America. And the idea of this little video is to show to you and make some introduction about the musical instruments. And not the music, I refer more about the sounds, because in America we have the opportunity to take the contact again with the most ancient instruments. So I want to start to speak about the most ancient instrument that we can find. This is a different kind of flutes that you make in bones. You have in human bones and in bird bones. This is one of the most ancient flutes that I have. This is from Canal Supé. This is a model, and this is from Chavín de Huántar. They are from Peru, and these have 6,000 years before the present, and these have 4,000-5,000 years before the present. And the most important of this is that we can find the original songs. Maybe the music is not easy to say that the thing that I played is the music, because really we don't know. We have some paintings, we have some iconographies, but we don't have any way to recover the music. But I think that the possibility to hear the sound is one of the most special things that we can recover from America. This is the bird that is from the coast. It's from Pelicano, and this is human body. This is a special flute. So, the idea is that we can start to hear the aesthetic of the music. And this is one of the most important things, because in another continents we have some iconographies, or we know a lot about that the people on the ancient times, they use instruments, but we don't have the original instrument with us. But in America, and even in Central America, in the Mayan culture, we have a very powerful evidence about the polyphonic flutes. That is very important, because it's from the classical period of the Mayans, around 500 years before Christ to 900 years after Christ. So this is a very beautiful thing, because we have the first polyphonic flutes, and we can hear how is the aesthetic of the multiphonic flutes. So we can try to hear some of this. And this is one of the most beautiful flutes, I think, because we know now in America, the people on the ancient times, maybe 3, 4, 5,000 years, they like to match the combination of the simultaneous sounds. For example, this is 2 flutes from the Aztec period too. They are very nice, and when we play alone, we can hear the 2 flutes alone, but when we play together, we can feel this kind of combination. So this is good to understand, because sometimes we want to enter in the music of the past, and really it's impossible to enter on the music on the past. In America, we have the opportunity to enter in which songs they prefer to use. And even when we make research, we understand that it's not only the flute the important thing for research. We research about technology of productions. For example, 1,000 or 2,000 years before of the present, we have these molds. This is a very important way that the Mayans use for produce instruments, because they want to make instruments like this. This is a cacao gut in a flute, and it's an ocarina, because behind of the statue you have holes and you have the mouthpiece for playing. And it's a beautiful thing because we enter in the aesthetics not only of the song. We have aesthetic on the way that the ocarina have to make, because you have the symbol of the god, you have the size of the song. So sometimes we think that all is free in the ancient times, but it's not really. Really, we have a lot of rules when you want to make something about relation with gods, or maybe with the people of the high class of society. You have a lot of rules for make the representation. So it's beautiful because this is one of the first time that we make this kind of flute. This is the cacao flute, and this is a medium ocarina, and so very powerful. So here we can see another way to express the connection between the song and the gods, and this is very important because we need to understand that on the ancient times the songs have some relation with the sacred, and the sacred is the gods. So this relation is very important because we understand that sometimes the musical instrument is not only for make music, the idea is to enter in a trance. And for example, this kind of trance you can find in a very large flute, because for example we have some iconographies that very ancient from the Mayan too, and they use very large flutes. This is a iconography for the polychromo bases from the classical period. Of course we don't have this kind of flute, but we can see this guy is maybe 1 meter or maybe more. They use a special flute that they use for movement. For example, this flute is maybe a representation of this flute. You need to, for play, you need to move up and down, and for produce the sound. So this kind of movement, if you repeat for many minutes or maybe a half an hour or more time, it's a static dance. Because we have on the past, it's difficult to find a concept of music. When we study more about indigenous or pre-Hispanic languages, we understand that music like a concept does not exist. We have sometimes vibration, sounds, relation with movements. So we understand that the arts on the pre-Hispanic time is more they combine, movement and sounds. So this is the idea of the trance. For example, this kind of flute is called mamaquena. This is from South America, not from Mesoamerican, but it's the same idea. The idea is that you not only you can make melodies. The way that they use is more like with a strong breath. So this kind of aesthetics is more relation with the trance, because you need to put a lot of air inside of the flute. So you have some the beginning of the trance relation more with the sobre oxygen. You use a lot of oxygen inside of you, So you produce an ecstatic part inside of you. But of course, the music of the pre-Hispanic times go more deep. For example, this is a kind of specific an instrument that is called Vista Bottles with of water. They use water inside for produce sounds, and this is beautiful because you have the four elements here. You have earth, fire, wind, and air inside. For the construction, you use earth. For cooking the clay, you need fire, and you have wind inside, and you have water, and you have the five element that is the sound. And this is one of the most beautiful instruments and one of the most important in the history of America, because with the water we have for 2,000 years before Christ until the European conquest. So we have 3,000 or 3,500 years that the Vista Bottles used from South America to Mesoamerica. And it's is a unique instrument that you can find in many cultures, in different geographies and in different times, in different cultures. So with the border, maybe we need 2 hours for explain more, but the most important thing is how, for example, Mayan culture, or maybe Inca cultures, or most ancient culture, for example, Chorrera culture from Ecuador, how they can make this same instrument. This is very high technology because it's an hydraulic system for produce sounds, and how all the cultures, for 3,000 years, they discovered the same instruments. When you enter in this kind of reflection, you understand that in America, you have a lot of communication through the cultures. For example, the spondylus, that is a special seashell that you can produce in Ecuador, in the coast. For the ancient people of America, they thinking that the spondylus is the food for the gods. And for example, you can find this spondylus in Mesoamerica and even in South America, And how is it, if it is possible? Of course, it's possible because in the ancient times, the people, they are not only a static culture. They move it. They move his product. The economy moves, but it's not moving only the economic things. They move culture. They move musical instruments. So we have a lot of relations between the North and the South of America, and this is the most important thing, because we need to rewrite again the history, because we always talking about that the culture are, they don't have contact, and I think that this is not true. I think that we need to enter more and deep in this culture for recover again, maybe not the music. The music is not important. We need to recover the sound, the aesthetic of the song, because this is one of the most important things of this instrument. We have the combination of the song, and this is one of the most important things that we can recover again from America.
Would you like to explain how the instruments are designed to be played together?
Yeah.
For instance, the panpipes, how you showed they share a scale.
This is very nice because it's another. This is the time maybe of the pan flute. We have pan flutes in many materials. We have pan flutes on clay for the Nazca culture. We have pan flutes in different kind of feathers. This is from Nazca and Paracas culture too. And you have now the pan flute that you make in reeds. The name is sikus. Sikus is mentioned about that the way that the people play. This together is one scale, and have the way of the shakana, if you see. But if you take out, you have arca and ira. You have masculine and feminine. The sikus that make the question and the sikus that have the answer. So you have crossed the scale. So if you want to play some music, you have to play with 2 people. So the idea is that the only people can play. You need always your pair. And through the pair, pair to pair, you can make a very big ensemble of this kind of flutes. So it's nice because you have so this is a very beautiful idea because if you're thinking in music on the ancient times, you're thinking about in pairs. You're thinking about that it's impossible to play alone. The idea is to play together. So this is one of the beginning that we understand that music is not only music. Music is cosmogony. Music is thinking, you know. So if we only want to take a musicality, a skill from this kind of thing, is not, for me, it's not the correct way. We need to understand that in the ancestral musical instrument of America, we have the way that the people think, because the instruments tell us about how these people think and how these people live. So sometimes when we're thinking about music, I think that we have more relation about cosmogony. This is a musical instrument that are more relation with cosmogony, with the start, and with the way that the people thinking on the past.